First day of dressage at the 2024 Defender Burghley Horse Trials is complete. Ros Cantor and Islot DHI maintained their early morning dressage lead to hold first place overnight. Ros and Isaac, as he's known at home, scored an impressive 19.9 in the first phase, which is a personal best for the striking 11-year-old gelding. We found out what Ros had to say after her test.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, do you, when you're riding it? I was just so busy. He's such a beautiful horse. He's so elastic and lovely, but he's got quite a tricky neck. So when it feels lovely to me, he's too tight and overbent. So it's always quite a challenge to make myself keep him up and out when I could make the feel better for me when he's a bit more in, but it just doesn't give the right look. So I was very busy concentrating. I had the odd glance up at the scoreboard and saw kind of around the 80% mark a couple of times, and I was like, this is good, this is all right. Like, I must have the neck in the right place. Yeah. So then I was like, I'll keep going with this then.
And what are your sort of thoughts on the course? Have you had a look? Yeah.
I just briefly run around yesterday. I was in a bit of a rush, so I've only had a quick look. But yeah, I'm pretty intense at the start, I have to say. Yeah, that's going to be the big challenge for us a lot, certainly. You know, I've been here a few times, but I've never realised how narrow it was coming into the main arena down the chute until you're on a horse that you think might actually struggle with that. So I think if I can get him down this first area through the main arena down here, and he takes a deep breath, has a bit of space, he'll be all right. But we're very open-minded about him. You know, if it's not his day, we can reroute. It's all about whether he's coping. If he is, he's genuine, he's honest, he's brave. If he isn't, I'll very quickly know, and we'll make the plans.
4 nationalities are represented in the top 10 after the first day of dressage here, but it's currently a British 1-2-3. Pippa Funnell, who last won here in 2019 aboard MGH Grafton Street, is second with the 11-year-old MCS Maverick. They scored 28.3 to sit some 8.4 penalties adrift of the leaders. Tom Jackson and 5-star stalwart Capel's Hollow Drift are third at this stage of the competition on 28.6. I caught up with Tom after his test.
Yeah, like I said, he's done 4 at this level now, and he's done 3.28, so he's very consistent. But I feel we got there in a slightly different way today. I feel that some of the trot work and the walkers real highlights, and they, you know, were better than ever. And then we left a few marks in there with some of the canter work and changes and things. But listen, we always want more, and unless we're in the lead, even sometimes when you're in the lead, you're still disappointed, aren't you? So no, I'm very pleased with him, and as long as we can stay as close to that as possible, then we'll be in a good chance, I think, in the mix on Sunday.
And what do you make of this year's track?
Yeah, it's really sort of what you expect from Burghley. It's big, it's bold, and there's not a lot of margin for error at all. Some of those combinations are very fair to the horses in that, you know, they can read them, I think, reasonably easily, but you've really got to be on your A game, and so is the horse, as well as obviously here the terrain plays a whole new level into that, so it adds an extra dimension to some of the other 5 stars.
Is there one combination in particular that sticks out at you at this stage?
I think probably the Holland Cooper leaf bit is the brushes there are pretty big, and they're the sort of fence that you kind of want to have a little balance and then punch into, but having done that leaf bit, I know that once you drop off there's no balance and you just got to keep rolling with it. So I think that's probably going to ride a bit like a roller coaster. You just drop off the end and hopefully come up the other side in a balanced way.
Switzerland's Felix Vogt, who is a Burghley first-timer, is 4th on Cartagna on 28.8, while fellow first-timer Max Warburton is 5th on Deer Park Revelry on 28.9. Carrying on down the top 10, New Zealand's Tim Price, who is no stranger to winning here, and Viscount Victor is 6th on 29.5. Harry Mead and one of his 3 rides here this weekend, Cavalier Crystal, are 7th on 31.3, while another of his rides, Superstition, is 8th on 32.1. Irishman and Burghley first-timer Ian Cassels is 9th on Masterpoint with a score of 32.4. Local rider and 5-star first-timer Nicole Mills is 10th with Fearless W on 32.6. Nicole had plenty of support from the crowd, and here's what she had to say after her test.
Do you know what? He's such a show-off. He loves an atmosphere, but it doesn't light him up. So I was pretty confident that he'd stay quite relaxed. there was a lot of people in the crowd that I know because I'm so local, so I was really delighted that they didn't start cheering till the end. But yeah, I'm so proud of him. He doesn't find dressage easy at all. He absolutely disgraced himself in his first ever international many years ago. I think he got 62 or something awful. But he's got he moves beautifully. He's got a beautiful trot. His canter, his changes, everything like that's very good. He normally gets dressed in his walk, but he walked beautifully, so I was delighted.
And what is it like being, I mean, we know that you live 3 miles down the road. What's it like to actually be here and be competing?
It's very surreal.
Yeah.
It's sort of, there's a real Burghley bubble, but it's not, I'm just trying really hard to keep my head in, I'm just at a show, just doing the same thing. At the same time, you know, whatever happens, it's an achievement even to get one on the trot up. So, and you know, he's very special. He's only 14. He's had quite a quiet eventing life. You know, I'm very careful with them. I'm very precious with them. So, you know, I would hope this would be first of quite a few for him.
And you run around the track?
Yes, ran around it last night. Yeah. It's big, it's technical. I think you sort of get smacked around the face quite early on. You know, up to the trout hatchery, I think it's very full on. I think after that I can take a deep breath and sort of get into my groove a little bit more. But I haven't ridden, obviously I've never ridden around here before, but it does feel like the first sort of 9-10 fences are quite sort of twisty and in your face.
Yeah, you'll have loads of support, I'm sure.
God, I think I might put a little request out that nobody cheers until I've gone past the fence, because he's quite spooky.
Okay.
And you know, I think if he'd had a little bit of spook at the cameraman when he'd finished and things like that. But yeah, I mean, he's an incredible jumper. He's very sharp, which is why I love him, because he's so careful. So he'll get plenty of work sort of tomorrow and Saturday morning, just hacking about, just to get him to take a deep breath and not sort of pop in the warm-up.
Horse and Hound is here at the 2024 Defender Burghley Horse Trials, bringing you all the latest news and features. Be sure to hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and keep an eye on the Horse and Hound website for all the latest.